All right. Here we go, guys and gals. And boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, drivers!
And we are back for the Loose Wheel Podcast, episode number 11. I'm Andrew here, along with... Introduce yourself, Ethan.
I'm Ethan. Hi.
It's a great day. Ethan, would you like to tell the people why they're getting this on Thursday instead of Wednesday?
Sure. Life happens. We were busy. I was busy mostly on Tuesday doing an assignment for one of my journalism classes. So there was no time to record the podcast on Tuesday. So we're here on Wednesday recording. This should be out on YouTube on Thursday and Blaze Radio
Spotify.
Shortly after.
Yeah, so, if I just feel like uploading this one because I didn't do that last time. But anyway, moving on into the reviews.
And now for last week's race reviews.
I feel like I do that way too often. But anyway, a couple things happened. Sebring. Yeah, just the 12 hours of Sebring. There's stuff that happened. But the big thing that I was talking about is Pippo Durrani, being the absolute mad lad he is, crashed while passing a GTD Ferrari, the of course Ferrari, and he kind of did a thing where he flipped. He was okay, but he was trying to get his 5th 12 hours Sebring win. So yeah, that was after he dominated. So that kind of turned the lead over to, and the win over to the Wayne Taylor Racing with Andretti group, Louis Delatres, Colton Herta, and Jordan Taylor. Nice to see the funniest man on the planet, Jordan Taylor, getting a win, a.k.a. Rodney Sandstorm, and Big Chungus, Colton Herta, which is a if you know, you know thing. And then the Swiss guy, Louis Delatres. In LMP2, you had the 99 AO Racing, the Dragon car, Spike. It was leading. Halfway through the race, it crashed. So that turned the lead and win to Era Motorsport. Ryan Dalziel, or I know it's not pronounced that, but Scottish people have their names weird. Dwight Merriman and Connor Zilich. They won the 36 hours of Florida. So that's both your 24 hours of Daytona plus 12 hours of Sebring. If you do the math, Ethan, you get 24 plus 12 equals 36.
Yeah, I get that. Not a big math guy, but I understood that.
Yeah. In GTD Pro, the Lexus won, Vassar Sullivan, Ben Barnicoat, former IndyCar driver Jack Hawksworth, and current IndyCar driver Kyle Kirkwood. And then in GTD, the winners were Indy, Daunt G, Philip Ellis, and Russell Ward. Again, they won Daytona. So they also won the 36 hours of Sebring in their class. So yeah, that says a lot about them. Points, the 7 Porsche retains their lead. Second place is now the 40 Acura. Era Motorsport keeps their lead in LMP2 over what now the 74 car excuse me, of Riley Motorsports. Voice issues, but we're back now. In GTD Pro, the part-time entry of Risi Competizione still holds the lead over the full-time cars of Paul Miller BMW and the Vassar Sullivan Lexus. And then the 57 Windward Racing living up to their name. Windward still leading GT Daytona over the part-time entry of the 47 Celatar Ferrari. I don't know if the 120 right Porsche is full-time or part-time, or the Conquest Ferrari was full-time. I also know, so I think Conquest is full-time. I'm fairly sure, but we'll see. A lot of teams struggling. Big strugglers, surprising strugglers in GTD are that Heart of Racing Aston team, down in 15th position. Thought they would do better. I would say the big disappointment in GTD Pro is the Pfaff McLaren, down in last place of the full-time or the 2 entries that have competed so far. Disappointment in LMP2 so far through these 2 races I would say is the 8 Tower team. They've been good in the past. And then the disappointment in GTP I would say is the 10 Andretti Acura with Wayne Taylor, down in 8th. I would say Acuras are generally better than the BMWs easily and the 2 privateer Porsches. So that means at minimum they should be 6th. They're not. So yeah, that's no good. One other bit from the IMSA race is that this year's attendance at Sebring for 12 hours is an all-time record. Moving on to the Bristol truck race. Nicholas Sanchez and Stuart Friesen had a scuffle over some contact on the last lap, which included Nick Sanchez saying, "You want to go?" They wanted to go, but they were broken up because officials, pit crew guys, are big and in the way. Kind of can't fight when that happens. But yeah, who won the race? That is a good question that I don't know off the top of my head. I know it wasn't Kyle Busch. I did pick him, but it was not him. It was indeed Christian Eckes. Last time at Bristol, he dominated, didn't win because of lap traffic, helping teammate, blocking, which is all in the rules. But that happened. Now this time, he dominates and wins. So good for Christian Eckes. In Cup, Stage 1, you had a caution for Byron's toe link after contact with Bellevue Logano. Reddick spun after contact with Barry on a tires plus a pileup in the back. Comers and goers was the big thing in the race. That was due to different strategies and tire wear. Tires all throughout the next-gen car's time and its life, Ethan. Tires have been too good. They haven't been wearing, which is something everyone was disappointed with.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Fans to drivers to teams, and over time they've adjusted it, but they adjusted too far, and so that the tires basically became cheese, and the track was a cheese grater, just grating the tires.
Sounds like a happy medium might be needed.
Yeah, I would say that I'd rather watch this type of racing in general because I think it's better. You have more driver control, driver skill than just running flat out every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a happy medium would be better.
Yeah.
That was very interesting to see. I think if it weren't for Atlanta, this might be a contention for race of the year. Yeah, this was a solid, great race.
Still early.
Yeah, Zane Smith was the first retirement with crash debris. Chase Elliott led Hendrick Motorsports 80,000 lap. Ty Gibbs got his first career and second career stage win. First one was under caution when Kyle Busch blew a tire. Some of the come and goers throughout the race had Gibbs, Truex, Buescher, Bell, Logano, Hamlin, Barry, Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Blaney, Gibbs. They all led. lot of different strategies. Just everyone was doing different things. And middle of the race in stage 2, that NASCAR said, okay, and Goodyear said, this is too much. We found some old rubber from last year, so we're going to bring some of those tires. And everyone gets to set in the field, which is a good thing for them to do, because they needed it. You had a green flag cycle of pits was the last cycle, which surprised everyone, because quite frankly, you expect a good amount of cautions at Bristol, because that's how it is, and with the tires blowing out, that might cause a wreck, and it didn't, which is surprising. And yeah, it was a new total for lead changes at short tracks all time this race. So I don't know if it was the package helping that or with the new tires. We'll see when we go to Richmond. I believe not this week, but next week. We'll see what Goodyear and NASCAR can do with the tires, how this will affect the package. But yeah. So, shall we move into the news, Ethan?
Let's do it. And now for the news.
Kamui Kobayashi is back with 23:11 for Circuit of the Americas.
That's fun.
He ran, was Indianapolis last year, and they renumbered the number to 50 for Mobil One's 50th anniversary, the sponsor. And they said there's going to be two other races with a 50 with unknown drivers. So
that's pretty fun.
I'm looking at possibly Chicago as another race. I can think of the other
with Morgan Trummel driving.
Yes. And I think Watkins Glen is a good possibility. I think they'll skip Sonoma, skip the Roval as the two places that they'll skip.
Okay.
If you're a Money Team Racing fan and listening, which neither of those exist, your team is not dead. They just said, okay, you can use the number 50 for these races. Who knows if Money Team will actually show up? They have a iffy history of showing up. They say they will, so let's hope they will. I'd like to see them on the track. I don't know about you, Ethan. It may be in the 50, maybe in a different number. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the Matt DiBenedetto saga is over. He has found a ride in Xfinity with Viking Motorsports, which
what a
is
name.
Technically RSS Racing. But yeah. So after, getting cut from Rackley last year with races left, couldn't find a ride full time, complained on Twitter like he always does, and he found a ride because CJ McLaughlin is bad at driving, missed 2 of the 4 races, and so the team, RSS/Viking Motorsports, said, okay, McLaughlin, you're out. DiBenedetto, you're in. And the thing is for many years, Alps, which is the Viking Motorsports dude, that's the sponsor. He sponsored CJ McLaughlin for a while. And for him to just say, yeah, we're done sponsoring you, it's a good move. But with DiBenedetto, we'll see how that works, because DiBenedetto's a choice for a driver. I saw it was interesting that they called it Viking Motorsports, not RSS Racing, because when they announced they were going to have CJ McLaughlin in the car, the 38 car, which will be DiBenedetto's car, they said RSS Racing. So who knows who is the real owner there? But at the end of the day, RSS Racing still has 3 other cars. The 29 of Blaine Perkins, noted Xfinity stage winner, the 29 is Blaine Perkins. The 28 of Kyle Sieg, but this week will be Kaz Grala for the road course of Coda, and the 39 of Ryan Sieg, longtime thing there, him driving for his family team. But yeah, It's interesting to see what Matty D will be doing that. Actually, he doesn't deserve the Matty anymore. He's just Matt D. Because he's just... Yeah. IMSA reveals 2025 race schedule for its thing. Literally no changes. The most important changes are Watkins Glen moving back a week in time, Long Beach moving up a week in time, so that will probably be reflected on the IndyCar schedule, and that gets revealed. Still 11 races, no class changes. It's a good thing for IMSA. Having its schedule released early, having continuity, which is what you want in a motorsport. I'd like them to go back to 12 races. That's something I would like to see. Bring back Mid-Ohio or somewhere as a 12th race, because I think 11 races is a weird number. I think 12 is just better to look at. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on to IndyCar. IndyCar retains Callum Ilott for the Thermal Club race, kind of as expected. No reason to change. Ilott ran well at St. Petersburg, relatively speaking. Malukas can't come back, so I don't think you're going to find anyone else. First season of Indy, or 100 Days to Indy, is now streaming on Netflix, starting in April, which is cool. Like seeing IndyCar get exposure. But season 2 will still air live on the CW, and they have started production earlier this year than what they did last year. So that's good. Good job, IndyCar. You get the thumbs up of the week. And I know you guys can't see us, but Ethan and I are doing thumbs up at the moment. Ethan, do you want to get into the F1 news to give my voice a rest here?
Yeah, you've been chatting with that sore throat.
Yeah.
So I got you. Yeah, so first piece of news is that the FIA president, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, has essentially been cleared by the FIA Ethics Committee, and they found no evidence of interference per Sky Sports.
Question.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest for the FIA Ethics Committee investigating the FIA president? Just saying FIA.
Well, we'll leave that up for the audience to decide.
Okay, so he's nodding while he's saying that, so.
There's no proof of that. It is a little bit of we have investigated into ourselves and found out we did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, the independence of the FIA Ethics Committee. I'm not a big FIA Ethics Committee expert. So, that's not the fun side of racing, right? But essentially, Mohammed Ben Sulayem will continue as the FIA president. However, he will be facing other challenges as Susie Wolff, who, for those that don't know, is the
Toto Wolff's wife.
Yeah, the wife of Toto Wolff. Thank you, Andrew. Mm-hmm. She has filed criminal complaints against the FIA. If you remember, the FIA investigated into her and her husband last year, and basically, the investigation was short-lived, but it got dropped eventually, and now Susie Wolff is filing criminal complaints. So we'll see where that goes. It's kind of interesting. It seemed really weird when the FAA was investigating in the first place, and then they just dropped it. So sometime later, we're getting the other side of it where criminal complaints have been filed.
The NASCAR driver and noted philosopher Joey Logano once said, "People love to complain."
Mm-hmm. People love to complain. But this might be a valid complaint. And then the final piece of news: Carlos Sainz, minus his appendix, will be in Australia and will be racing.
Mm-hmm.
So, successful appendicitis surgery, as we all know, and 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks later, that's enough recovery for him. He'll be in the race car again.
Yeah. Yeah. What was Albon's recovery?
I think the same, 2 weeks. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
he had his in Italy, and then it's a 2 week break, or 1 week off, and then back in Singapore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, similar situation for Sainz. And now for next week's race previews.
All right, previews. Well, I know it says different on the thing, on our itinerary, but Ethan, do you want to talk about Australia?
Yeah. So, Australia, Melbourne,
Albert Park
Street Circuit. What do you think of Albert Park? Do you like it? I actually do like it.
I've never watched a race there, so I've only driven it in the F1 2020 game.
Very fun on F1.
It's a good circuit. I suck at it. Yeah, it's like one of the ones
skill issue, to be honest.
It's one of the ones that you suck at, but you kind of enjoy. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So
but it's annoying because it's.
That's fair. So, yeah, F1's going down under. For us here in America, it's another beautiful start time. We're over here in Mountain Time, so it's 9 p.m.
Mountain Standard Time, which is California Pacific Daylight Time for the rest of the U.S.
Yeah. So, 9 p.m. start time. RIP to all the British fans who are going to pretend like they're dying, even though American F1 fans do this every single normal race week, waking up early to watch racing, F1 racing anyway. What's to say about Australia? Max Verstappen's probably going to win.
Water is wet.
Yeah. I'm actually
Sky is blue.
I'm not really too sure what cars will do better at Albert Park and what cars will do worse there compared to Saudi and Bahrain. So we're gonna see.
So Thermal Club Challenge. There'll be some sort of qualifying for it, down to 12 drivers. We'll have a 20-lap race, 2 10-lap segments, halftime where refueling and chassis setup changes will be permitted. So yeah, that's how it's gonna work. It's gonna be. I think it's a huge circuit, like 4 or 5 miles.
Wow. Okay.
It's a big circuit. Let's do some Googling here because
sounds like Spa.
Yeah, because they have a ton of different layouts here. Like, does Thermal Club have a Wikipedia page? Appears not.
They're racing at a track that's not even on Wikipedia.
Well, let me go to Wikipedia. Actually, it is.
Okay.
No, it's just Thermal. The actual unincorporated community is when you click when you get the Thermal Club.
Okay, so this what is this? I'm so confused.
All right, this is what Wikipedia says what this race is. The $1 million challenge is an exhibition auto racing event scheduled to be held by the IndyCar Series on the permanent road course at the Thermal Club in Thermal, California in March 2024. The race is designed to be a made-for-TV all-star event and will be held at the 300-plus acre private country club in a gated community in the Coachella Valley.
Okay, so it's a gated community, but instead of having a golf course, they have a race car track.
Yes.
I want to live there.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
That's cool.
The tickets are $500. So yeah. Too much for my blood. That's about how much money I have in my debit card right now.
Damn, you rich.
I think it's a little higher than that, but yeah, I can't afford tickets, but I'd rather not at this point. With all that being said, we have Coda to preview. You have Xfinity and trucks as well. ARCA's doing their own thing somewhere, but who cares about them really? Just give them like a 3-second mention. But in trucks, I think the only Cup driver is Mr. Ross, the boss Chastain. Yeah. You have a couple of interesting drivers making their season debut. Connor Zilic, the noted IMSA driver, won the both the races 36 Hours of Florida. You have some bunch of random people in the Resume cars. Random guy in one of the Young's cars. Jack Wood returns. Stephen Parsons returns. You've got Jack Hawksworth making his NAS truck debut, and Dale Quarterly, the GOAT himself, returning for his season debut. So yeah, in Xfinity you have Cup guys such as Kaz Gralla, Ty Gibbs, John Hunter Nemechek. You have Chase Elliott as well. You have, I think there's someone else. But Ty Dillon, noted former Cup driver Ty Dillon. You'll also have a couple of drivers trying to make their debut for the season that are worth noting. Former IndyCar driver Ed Jones, former F1 driver and current Lamborghini driver Daniel Kvyat, RC Enerson.
Wait, Daniel Kvyat's racing?
Yes.
What?
And one
So
of the worst
random,
cars.
okay.
Yes, he's done NASCAR before. Preston Pardis, sports car guy. Yeah. So you get those guys, and then is there anything else of note? Probably not, because the Xfinity series is kind of boring. BJ McLeod is going part-time this year, unfortunately. Guess cashing out the big charter money that he had with Matt Tifft and Joe Falk. But anyway, it's time for my favorite part of the show. I don't know about you, Ethan. It is time for the picks.
I do like the picks.
And now for next week's race picks.
Recap of last week, I kicked butt.
Thanks.
In Bristol, Guess and I split up, each got a point for having Kyle Busch beat Corey Heim. Guess got 5 for Denny Hamlin. In IMSA, that's where I raked in my dough.
Yeah, this is the thing. You know IMSA, and, like, no one else knows anything about it.
I will say, I've gotten really lucky with my picks, because I know, like, there's 2 groups of cars in IMSA. There's good, and then there's not good. Most of the time, the good cars win. So if you pick one from there, you have good chances. But most of the time, you've made good picks. You guys have made good picks.
But
anyway, Ethan and I, we did get a point for picking GTP 7 beat the 63 Porsche over the Lamborghini. I got the correct winner in LMP2, Aero Motorsport. I got the correct winner in GTD Pro with Vassar Sullivan. And then I got the GTD winner, I had the best finish, Heart of Racing beating AF Course and Turner, putting me at a total of 69 points. Nice. Ethan, 48 points. And the guests, 42 points. The guest picks this week were made by Morgan, friend of the podcast. He's been on here before. He'll probably be on again sometime soon. But anyway, as I said, I have a nice 21-point lead over Ethan, 27 points over the guests. But that all could change this week because we have a total of 9 races to pick. Nine. So up for a 45-point swing up for grabs, depending on how things work. But anyway.
A lot of points up for grabs.
We're probably not going to get 45 points, but
No.
that's the max.
It is possible.
It is possible, but we're all not going to do it because we're all going to pick different people. The guests this week went for Ross Chastain in trucks, and I'll go second here, I guess, because I just makes sense to go back to back. I'm going to go with Connor Zilic on debut is going to win because I want it to happen. Ethan, what about you? Who are you picking?
I am picking Corey Haim. He's kind of just good everywhere. So, Coda is part of everywhere.
Yeah.
So, by that logic, he'll be good at Coda.
Yeah. And Xfinity, I'm going to go first here. I'm going to say my pick first. So I wanted to go AJ Allmendinger because I thought he was going to win. Then Ethan picked AJ Allmendinger. I'm like, nah, this field is too stacked with great competitors to pick the same person as other people. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go Kyle Larson. Guest says, I'm going to take Kyle Larson. So I'm going to go Ty Gibbs, Mickey Gibbs.
We're allowed to pick the same people.
I know. It would actually be better for me if I picked the same people. But
yeah, like you have nothing to lose by picking the same people.
I can extend my lead. I'm going to go Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs, honestly, I would be very surprised if one of those 3 guys doesn't win. I think
one of the 3 guys we picked?
Yeah. If one of those 3 doesn't, if it's
I would be
be
surprised
outside,
as well. Yeah.
I think the only person that has a good chance, that has the best chance is SVG, Shane Van Gisbergen.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think he could, but yeah, he's kind of on the outside looking in.
Maybe Sam Mayer.
Maybe.
Yeah. And Cup, our guest picked Joey Logano.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not the best pick. Logano's not the greatest at road courses, but who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe he could win and I can look like an idiot.
Yeah,
But I'm putting myself out there.
Yeah, I picked Ross Chastain. Won there last year, I believe.
I think it was the inaugural race in 21, I want to say. But he did win there at some point.
Yeah, he won there at some point.
Did the watermelon smash.
He's done good there.
Go for a watermelon. Yeah. Continue. Do you have anything else to say?
No, just Ross Chastain. He's won there. He's done good there.
Actually, he might have won last week or last year.
I think he did.
Or I think he won in 22.
He won at one point.
Because who I'm picking, Chase Elliott won the inaugural race, I think, for real.
For real.
Yeah. Chase Elliott won the rain-shortened race that had a big wreck. Taking out a lot of people. Cole Custer, Martin Truex Jr. went flying. Yes, I am right. When Chase Elliott 21, Chastain 22, and Tyler Reddick 23, 2 Chevys and then a Toyota. And they actually have not had the scheduled distance ran yet at COTA. First race was shortened due to rain. Most recent 2 had overtime. So
will we see a regulation race?
Yes. I'm going to say yes. I'll probably be wrong, but yes. But moving on to thermal, who knows what's going to happen. Guest took Rossi. He's been in a drought. Last one was first Indy road course race in 22. So yeah, Rossi, McLaren, getting them their first win in a long time because they haven't won since 22 either.
Yeah. I have Colton Herta. It just seems like this type of race, like an all-star race, it just kind of seems like up his alley. Mm-hmm. So Colton Herta, we know he's talented. I think he can take this one.
Yeah, I'm going with Pato O'Rourke Patricio. I think he's had a good run at not Sebring, but the other Florida track, St. Petersburg.
Mm-hmm.
Too much Florida this time of year. But yeah, he had a good run there. This race suits him a lot. I feel like it does Herta, and even Rossi. But I liked his result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was talking to a friend of the podcast, Royce, earlier. He says Newgarden.
Newgarden, okay.
Yeah.
On to the sprint for F2. No F3.
We don't like F3 here.
You don't like F3?
No, it's just too random.
Is there F3? I don't think there's
Yes,
F3.
there is F3.
Oh, there is F3. Okay, what do I know? F2, though. Zane Maloney was the pick for both me and Morgan, your current championship leader.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm going with the defending sprint race winner, Dennis Hauger.
yeah,
Of Norway.
I have Hauger winning the main race.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, he's done good there. But yeah, part of this is I kind of need to pick the same points as you in some places so I don't fall too far behind. But I also need to do other things so that I have a chance to catch up.
America's crew chief, Larry McReynolds, always says on Fox, if you're going to follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader.
Great insight there. So, I have Dennis Hauger. Morgan has Enzo Fittipaldi. And you.
I have. He did decent last year in the sprint race, second, retired in the main race. Jack Crawford, the American.
Yeah, and then for the F1 race, I want to see something. CJ, do you know any F1 drivers?
Lewis Hamilton.
Do you know any other F1 drivers?
I watched the F1 movie on Netflix. About
Yeah.
The PlayStation thing, yeah.
And his name was Max.
Max. It starts with hold on, it's coming to me. I'm close. It was Max. Oh my gosh, I'm almost there. Max Vemper Stoppton.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Max Verstappen is everyone's pick to win this week because Max Verstappen always wins, and it would be not smart to choose anyone other than Max Verstappen. So me, Andrew, and Morgan all have Max Verstappen. Wow! That was a sound. Me.
When we get a soundboard, I'm putting that on the soundboard.
Okay. Me and Andrew both have Sergio Perez. I'm actually not confident that Sergio Perez gets second.
He's good at street circuits. That's why I'm putting him second. End of discussion for me.
He hasn't had the best track record at Australia, though. Australia's kind of an outlier for him. So I think that he most likely finishes second because just that Red Bull car. But I would not be surprised if he's not even on the podium, to be honest. But yeah, this is a spot where I'm playing it safe. So Sergio Perez second. Morgan actually has Charles Leclerc finishing in second, which I respect. I like that. And he has Sergio Perez finishing third, and we both have Leclerc in third because the Ferrari has been running
the
well.
Best car
Yeah,
and like as we predicted in the beginning of the year. Sorry to cut you off here, Ethan, but I think we all agree said Red Bull's going to be the one, Ferrari's going to be the two, clear cut and obvious, and that's what it's been from at least the results. The first two races, and I think we don't see change in that anytime soon.
I'm proud of you for going with Leclerc instead of Carlos Sainz. You're breaking your addiction.
You can't. You got to balance them because they're going to be close in standings, so you can't pick the same person every time. That's how logic works.
That's smart. That's smart. So, I think that's it for this episode. Yeah. So.
Thank you, CJ, for visiting.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back anytime if you guys have any more questions for me. This is really fun and impactful for me to like learn and see how you guys operate things behind the scenes because I'm always tuning in, listening to the show. Now I'm here.
Don't lie, CJ.
I am. I'm listening.
Yeah?
Wheels, bro. Wheels podcast. Come on.
How come you didn't know how to pronounce Max Verstappen, bro?
Okay, I'm not the biggest F1 guy. But
Oh, you be listening to the NASCAR part. I feel you.
hey,
I feel
everything
you.
else, basketball, football, rugby, pickleball, I'm there.
Bro, listen to... Oh, shout out my Giants podcast, the 762 show, exclusively on Blaze Radio online. Check that out if you like the Giants or baseball.
Or if you want to see the Giants' downfall this year, watch them be...
Yeah, the Giants just signed Blake Snell. I'm feeling great. I think you should be scared, Andrew.
I'm not scared of you. I'm scared of Philly. And on that note, goodbye.
Bye.
To me, it looked like he actually lost the wheel.
The wheel for Ross Chastain is still and perfect.
Wheel on the track.
Did you leave the wheel loose?
You picked the fine time to leave me loose, wheel.